Alright, guys, we've got Rongi Cup, Group D, the series everyone's been asking me to commentate, and I finally gotten around to it. We've had Home Story Cup, we've had the Thunderfire Invitational, we've had so many tournaments back to back, and it's been hard to keep on top of all the games that everyone's been telling me to cast. But people have told me this best of three from Group D, between the two favorites from that group, was a banger. Vitality's MARU in the top left, Falcon's Solar in the bottom right, a ZVT between two friends, two former teammates, who've played against each other so many times. Historically, MARU is the victor between the two, more often than not. Occasionally, Solar wins a best of 5 or a best of 7 against him, but it's not so common. The pattern I've noticed recently in their play is if MARU gets hyper-aggressive, because you guys know, I always explain MARU as a player who's very good at early game shenanigans and cheese and crazy openings, and he's very good at late game, but he's weak in the mid game compared to how good he is in the early and late game, right? Obviously, he's still, you know, top 2, top 3 Terrans in the world. Regularly the best Terran in the world in certain matchups and situations, especially late game. But his mid game is definitely kind of the weaker part of his stats sheet, so to speak. So when he gets really aggressive early, which is one of his strengths, good against other players, not good against Solar. Solar shuts it down when he gets aggressive. So MARU's best builds against Solar traditionally is be greedy, and then just play Biomine and just overwhelm Solar in kind of the early late game, late mid game with just such a disgusting advantage off your early game that Solar can't keep up. The problem Solar runs into is figuring out which version of MARU he's playing. Is it going to be that cheesy, early aggressive version that's in his face? Because, yeah, he can beat that. The problem is he always plays safe against that, often when Maru's playing exceptionally greedy build orders. Speak of the devil, look at that, pulling 2 workers off gas. Maru's going greedy style. And Solar often will start Ling Speed, build 4 to 6 Zerglings, do all these things, which are safety mechanics, and you don't need to. So these 4 Lings, actually not necessary in this game. It's helpful against the Reaper, it's not the worst thing. I do like that he's sending his drone out to the right as well. But I'd love to see him delay his Ling Speed and not start that straight away. See, so he goes Ling Speed, unnecessary. He's playing against the fastest 3rd command center pretty much available here from MARU. You can see he's going to start that at 2 minutes and 17 seconds. Just so you guys know, a normal 3 command center build, which is already a very greedy build, starts at about 245, 250. So over 30 seconds ahead on the 3rd command center by pulling off gas there. Really nice. Of course, delays the factory, but I don't think he cares. I think MARU might go double engineering bay next. Something silly like that. Or just straight extra barracks, double A bay. He's going to be going for really fast 1-1 into 2-2. And these are the builds with which he mauled Solar back in Dallas in that grand finals last year. We'll see if Solar can make some adjustments, because I really feel like Solar just plays standard ZVT. And I often feel like Solar's way better on the base mechanics than MARU, but it doesn't matter because MARU just plays smart against him and is greedy, cuts corners. You can't jump up there, mate. There's a little gap. Yeah, so he essentially plays greedy, and it feels like Solar's just playing as if he's playing against any other ladder player. Oh, got to be safe against this, got to be safe against that. No, you do not. Look at this. Double engineering bay after 3 barracks. It's such a fast build order. 3rd command center is finished before your 3rd hatchery is finished. And Solar's just pumping queens, which he does not need to be doing. And I know that sounds a bit silly, but he honestly should stop at 5 queens. There is no need for more than 5 queens in this game, especially once these Lings come in and realize there's no Hellions here, man. But he might be thinking, oh, maybe it's a 2-1-1. Look, there's a bunch of Marines there. What's going on? And he's building 3 more queens. This is, yeah, definitely going to be costly. He's got to drone really hard. He should already be taking a 4th base, and he needs Evo Chambers, especially Carapace, as quickly as possible. That being said, as much as Maru's getting away with insane greed, it does take a while before you pressure the Zerg. There is room to cover the mapping creep. Solar's really good at spreading that creep because of the lack of presence from the Terran that can help. That first Evo for Carapace going down, it's so important that he gets that as quickly as possible to minimize this advantage. It's already a 45-second upgrade advantage. Probably going to be about 80 seconds ahead on the attack upgrades against the Zerg armor, which is huge for Terran. I mean, we are talking a massive edge there. Actually, he's going to go down on the right side. There we go. Love to see it. Love to see it. He's got not quite enough minerals. You'll see him place that in a moment. A few Zerglings are coming out for a little modicum of safety. And the Carapace does end up coming down. That's at 10 seconds now. So 60 seconds. Solar's actually kept it down to only a minute behind on the upgrade. That's pretty good. This Overlord is on a pillar, guys. It's hard to see this pillar unless you zoom in, since it's covered in the same sort of vines and plants that the stuff around it has. Now the question is, where's the armory? Hasn't started yet, guys. He's gone factory, no starport yet. And with such a fast upgrade, it's hard to get your armory down. And him forgetting it here is actually pretty crucial. That's going to delay his +2 starting by quite a bit. And that gives Solar a lot of time to catch up on the upgrades, which is lovely. How many queens did he end up going for? 8 queens, 20 zerglings, 60 drones against the 50 SCVs. And you might be looking at the supply and thinking, this is pretty good for Zerg. Well, it's not terrible by any means, but keep in mind, once these add-ons all kick in and the bio starts actually producing non-stop, that's where things get scary, because the Terran production explodes. And Zerg does not have a 5th base, no macro hatchery just yet. There we go, 5th base starts. I think a macro hatch is going to be essential as well. He's on 5 gases, so I do think this is just going to be pretty typical Hydra Bane play for Solar. Very kind of standard stuff. Nothing too crazy. Oh man, I really wonder how this goes, because Solar, despite playing very standard, has done pretty well. And the fact that 2+2 hasn't started, Maru's messing his build up. He's going 4th command center, 2nd factory, but where's his +2 on these eBays? Okay, finally gets +2 attack, but no +2 armor. Doesn't have the gas for it. I guess he's using that for the medevacs right now. The 4th command center tells us he's not going to commit super hard to a push. So Maru's essentially... I mean, I hate to be crude, guys, but I think the best way to describe the style he's playing this game is he's just jerking it. I think he's just going to do a little bit of light medevac marine pressure, and otherwise he's going to be touching himself in the corner of the map. And all the way to late game, maybe? Or maybe not late game. Maybe he'll do the mass marauder mine lib style and try to refuse ghosts. A lot of players don't want to play ghosts right now. Even Clem was saying to me that he thinks like any more than about 10 ghosts is overkill. It's kind of hard to get value out of more than that. And just mange libs seem to be a bit of a better choice right now in some situations. But I think for a lot of players, they can't even get value out of the 10. You know, we've seen guys like Hero Marine try to play mass, just marauder marine mine lib against Serral and actually put him on notice a little bit. Serral was really struggling against that style. Very close series. 3 more barracks coming down. So it's 8 barracks, but obviously that's off of 4 base. So this is kind of like an 8 barracks biomine push with heavy marauder about to come in once all the tech labs kick in off these. Starts pushing heavily from about 8.5 minutes, I would say. And with a 4th base behind it, 72 workers, it's kind of like the next evolution of the old 3 base 8 racks all in off 60 workers. It's like, no, this is a 4 base 8 racks. And he's mixing in some tanks, which is interesting. So he's building tanks off of the Tech Lab factory over here, and Widow Mines at the same time. Marines are finding some Zergling kills. Maru still hasn't lost a unit. Remember, Maru has a shoulder injury that's been ongoing, so anything that can avoid stressful multitasking, like this style of just pure greed, pure build orders, something that's going to be something he enjoys very, very well. A few Hydras are coming out, so it's Lingbane Hydra, a single Viper. We've got Hydra upgrades are starting. Marines stim to the right side. And the Widow Mine gets itself a nothing shot, just a single Zergling. But he's going to go past and keep dropping here. Maru being a bit of a nuisance. Did Solar just F2 his entire army? No, this army on the left, though, was quite far away. And he's going to lose a few drones and a gas. Just being a nuisance here is Maru, but he will start to lose these medevacs as he's overcommitted. Bit slow to respond, though. Does feel like he was a little bit slow to respond. I think he needs to split his army a little more. One of the things I've noticed with Solar's play, and I've pointed this out a lot over the last 6 months, is even when he's crushing a Terran, Maru and Beyond know that one of Solar's big weaknesses is like he will F2 his whole army one way than the other, or even in scenarios like this, he really needs to split it into 3 sections to cover everything. He didn't quite do it in time. Maru's now got a giant push, starting to get to this ledge over here, setting up a big bio mine spread, but he's left himself wide open at home. If Solar just counterattacks, I think Maru might be screwed, because Maru can't really force his way in, but Solar doesn't realize. Solar does not realize Viper's over there parasitic bombing the medevacs. One of them does go down. Hatchery's taking big damage. Widow Mines are firing on these Zerglings. Nothing too crazy out of those Widow Mine shots just yet. The Zergling spreadies were pretty damn effective. Needs a few Lings on the high ground, does Solar. Finally clicks those Lings and a Hydra up there, but not able to kill the tank until he gets everything else going. And there we go, finally. That tank goes down. Marines on the left side have been covered by those guys. Widow Mines are firing. The bio actually manages to escape. Impressive. Hydra Lunge is on the way. He's already got the other 2 Hydra upgrades. +1 range, +2 melee. No +3 carapace just yet. Viper's still hanging in the dead space. Maru redropping in the main. It looks like Solo's going to try to jump on top of the rally. But we are into a bit of a brawl right now. It is 2-2 against 1-2 upgrades. And the Lurkadan, very exposed, will be going down. That's unfortunate. The Queen's over here could buy a little bit of time. But look at this. Drop on the left is going to come in as well. Sola's under pressure right now. And he's really going to have to show that dogged determination that he is known for. His ability to stay calm under pressure. And once again, high ground, low ground, high ground, low ground. Maru is abusing the old school basics right now. And this is something where you've got to pre-split your units as much as possible. When a Terran starts doing this, I really think Sola needs to A-move a section of units here, box half of it, send it back here. A-move half the units here, box half of it, send it there. Because it's entirely predictable that he's going to be doing this high ground, low ground shenanigans. I also think we're seeing the classic Sola conundrum. He does not attack. He only defends. Maru has been completely naked on his natural in his third this entire time. Dark, if he was in the Zerg shoes, would have ran in there and murdered his economy by now. But instead, Maru, the player who has a very well-documented shoulder injury, is not being stressed on the defense at all, not having to react to anything. He's only having to look at things when he chooses. And that makes StarCraft much simpler and much easier on your shoulder, on your injuries, and just on your mechanics in general. Much easier to stare at what goes on. That being said, Maru did just lose a lot of units, man. And that was a big set of army. Chat tells me 4 full medevacs just went down on the right. Did I completely miss that, or was it on screen while I was talking about something else? I may have been looking at the minimap. I know a lot of bio got caught there. I didn't think the units were inside the medevacs, but you guys let me know if that is the case. The Spore Crawler's been doing really good at zoning that edge, by the way, but we'll see how we go. 15 Marauders, 25 Marines, 8 Widow Mines, 5 medevacs. That buys a very necessary respite for Mr. Solar. Nidus Worm's on the way. Going to try and go for the Lurkers to the counterattack, but I don't know, man. Still got to keep his army nicely split, because it's so hard to establish this base, and that base is going to go down, isn't it? Widowmine clears some Zerglings. That hatchery just gets blasted. Easy click down of that. Going to put a Widowmine there as well. Oh, it actually fires on a drone. Kind of unfortunate for him. The bio was already killing the drone anyway. And these 2 medevacs will pick up and move away. Nice micro for Maru. The Widowmine's there. This bio does not have medevacs with it, so he's got to be a little bit cautious. And remember what I said, Maru doesn't really want to play the ghost game. Oh my god, he's going to lose some medevacs. Okay, only 1 does go down, but a few units dropping out of the other as well. Should leave his Hydras there and just abduct these, but it looks like he's going to go for the Parasitic Bomb instead, which will do pretty well on those medevacs. We'll go check those in a second. Lurkers are defending the right side. I don't think that kills it, does it? Oh, it does kill that medevac. Forces it to unload as well. Double planetary in the left is kind of vulnerable, even though it is a double planetary, which is by definition not vulnerable in of itself. Ling Bane rolling forwards. A lot of workers go down. 20 workers. Maru incredibly slow on that SCV pull and the lift on the orbital. And that's actually a really nice trade there for Solar. Gets 20 workers, does some good damage. Got to pull back and deal with this as well, but I feel like that's a really good win. Now, I've got to think, what's the best finishing move from here? He's going to go Lurkonitis. Okay, Lurkonitis is not a bad move at all. The Nidus is here. He's got a bunch of Lurkers that he took off that right side defense and he's put up there. Single Ghost is not enough to defend this. Maru, did he just leave a Ghost here? He's not actually noticed this. He notices it now. Uh-oh, where are his libs? He has no libs. He has no libs on the map. Libs are the way you deal with this. He does not have any Widow Mines. Do smear some Zerglings on the right side of the map. Solar in the back door, and I think Solar's got control of this game now. This very well could be game-winning, especially if he shoves the front at the same time. Quick evacuate with the Lurker, and he says, hello, did you want to keep these command centers alive? No way. Oh, you got to move through the choke point, though. Oh, a little bit slow to jump on this. And he might not be able to kill that. I don't like this attack now. He's got to get out. He's got to get out. Blow up the SCVs and run away. He does get the planetary. Okay, so it's a good trade. It's still a good trade for Solar there. That is absolutely a good trade. He's even in the units lost. And Solar needs to rotate his army here and then snipe this double planetary, and then Maru's in absolute Screwtown. Maru has only a few command centers, 4 orbitals, 2 extra command centers that haven't been morphed. He's going to turn 1 into a planetary, this one into an orbital. But as Solar right now, you've got bank. You need to remax and go, and go, and go, and go. This left side, though, there's no point attacking this unless you have at least 20 Banelings to roll into the middle of here and just kill both planetaries. You want Lings to run in front to drag those early shots. He's going to try and gather, but he's taking a long time to do this. And Solar, you can't be letting Maru off the hook right now. You've got him on the ropes. He's got a lot of supply, but still defending the Nidus is still in production. Solar, go, 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 go. You've got him on the ropes right now. Solar's playing very patiently, very Serral-esque. Even when I watch Serral, I feel awkward and upset watching him take so long to finish his opponents when he's got an advantage. Here we go, finally. He's going to dive to this side, go for the orbital. Doesn't want to mess with those planetaries just yet. But remember, planetaries can't lift off and fly away, which is why attacking them can be very, very good. The Ling Bane actually rolls through a few of the ghosts as well, not too bad. And I think that's a very good pullback timing. Another 16 workers go down. There's no mass orbital just yet, guys. There's only 5. So killing workers is so valuable. More Niduses going up in the back. He's got to keep spreading these changelings through the bases, does Solar. You can see he's got vision there as well as there. Creep spread on the front. This is amazing. I'd also love to see a single lurker try to burrow up here. Maybe bust this, but I don't think he has the numbers just yet. Oh, he didn't move his Hydras in range, but he's got lurkers in the natural at the same time. Oh, Solar's doing such a good job of distracting with that. Kills one planetary, the other planetary is going to go down, and this is Maru's lifeline. And I think with this move, Solar should have this game in the bag. Maru has a big army. It's just about dealing with that army now, which admittedly is difficult because he's got, what, 12 Ghosts, 10 Marauders, 8 tanks, 9 Widow Mines. The tank's giving him a very good anchor to his style. I've always wondered, if you are struggling with the Terran army, if they've just got a lot of Widow Mines, is it worth making a few Broodlords just to set those Widow Mines off on their own units? Or is it only if they've got siege tanks? In this case, I think there's enough tanks. Broodlords would be amazing. We were just talking earlier. There was a video Basilisk put up on their social media saying, what's the most underrated unit in StarCraft right now? And Serral said, oh, I think the Broodlord, right? And Raynor just looked at him and laughed, basically being like, hey, Broodlords are trash. And I was literally just talking about this when we started today's stream, where I was like, that's funny because the 2 best TvZ players in the world right now, better than Serral in current form, is Solar and Raynor. And they both have a huge blind spot when it comes to Broodlords. Because even when they play guys who keep massing tanks, they refuse to make Broodlords because they think they're bad until they will lose 10 fights in a row against a guy with 20 siege tanks. And only then will they think to start building a Spire or a Greater Spire. And it's really painful. Like, you guys have heard me talking about this for years. If your opponent builds a lot of tanks, Broodlords are king. And right now, Maru's in survival mode. He knows he loses to Broodlords, but he's so far behind. He has to double down on siege tanks because otherwise he dies anyway. Dude, Maru accidentally EMP'd the ground there. Great fight for Maru, though. Solar thought he was ambushing him. Those tanks on that right side shelling there from the low ground. That was a really bad fight for Solar. Now, Solar, he's got 1 Viper, but he needs to gather energy. Lurkers are useless against this, so it's just a pure Ling Bane with some Hydras. How many Hydras you got? 18. 18's probably as many as you ever want. I do like the Lurkers harassing from that side a little bit, but just went a bit too close to that Planetary. Planetary doesn't have high-sec auto-tracking, funnily enough. It's only 6 range rather than 7. Did he think he was EMPing Burrowed Infestors? Maybe he saw something, but I feel like it was a misclick. Yeah. It's a lot of siege tanks. Broodlords are the answer. 100%. At this point, you got to realize Broodlords are the answer. Even just 3 or 4 Broodlords, like 5, is enough to like force their front tanks to unsiege, and it gives you a really long-range unit to poke at them with. I'm not saying it's like absolutely necessary at this point. Like Ling Bane could do it. The problem is Banes obviously clump up a lot against the tanks, kind of slow. Zerglings are great against Marauders, against tanks, but it's hard to deal with the Ghosts and the Marines with just Zerglings. Oh, great Ling run by, though. Solar all over. I mean, Solar's so rich, but he can't let Maru back in on the tempo. You know what Maru's doing? Ooh, okay, getting a few tanks while they're undefended. Nice move. What Maru's doing by holding this position is he's slowing the game down. Because Solar should be going around and blowing this base up. And Nidusing, and he should still be spamming Niduses in the back. Because he needs to keep trading, because he's got so much money. The problem Solar's having right now is he's waiting for Maru to come into the open. That's giving Maru to not just max out, but to build a hyper-maxed army. What's a hyper-maxed army, guys? It's when your work account sucks, so you've got way more army. That's what it is. And he's being given the time to do it. Solar's 10,000 resource bank is just sitting there. I talked about earlier how I thought Solar could have blown up this left side base much faster, and he took a few more minutes to do it. Though, admittedly, he was doing good moves in the meantime with killing the third and whatnot. But, like, I do think he's giving Maru a bit more time than he needs. Like, this is a good move, but in isolation, Maru will be able to deal with this. There's also no Burrow. Burrow would be really good to help make these moves a bit harder to deal with. The Baneling's just kind of derping around. He hasn't dealt with these siege tanks. Oh, okay, he does clear some tanks in the middle. He's going to clear another one there. That Widowmine's going to get a decent shot. I say decent. 12 Zerglings, very decent. Yeah, and I think he's got to keep trading. Solar's like instantly remaxed, So he's got to honestly just run in and kill this base. Okay, Lurkers is good. Lurkers is good. If he can keep running Lings in this left side as well, just run 30 Lings past, take a few mine shots, take a few tank shots. Anytime you get Lings in here, Maru cannot defend everything right now. But Solar needs to trade now. Because if you just fight army versus army at your door front like this, and you lose that fight because you're down 30 army supply, you might not have time to remax. And if Terran gets on top of your rallies, that is a win condition. Not only that, we've still got mass tank production. Oh, the ghosts get caught. Maru goes to Dicktown. Solar says, sorry, mate, here's your ticket. Hope you enjoy that one, mate. And that planetary will fall as well. Great move by Solar. Solar, the planetary sniper today. Command Center will go build a new one, no doubt. And look how he instantly remaxes. Now, he's actually out of lava, so he's got to be careful about injecting. Like, if he's got any creep queens, he should be stacking injects on some of these other bases if he can afford to. Oh, he's going to go down that right side. I love this choice for Solar. Fighting you front on is for losers, cucks, and tryhards. I am neither of those. I am Solar. And I'm going to counterattack your economy. But there are still siege tanks all the way in the back. How many tanks are there, man? How many tanks are there? A lot. 12 tanks still, even though he's just traded against them pretty heavily. He's already killed 7 siege tanks this game. And I think a bunch died to probably friendly fire as well, which is why they wouldn't show up there. I'm like, I'm pretty sure more than 7 tanks have died this game. At least 10. Oh. I would have liked him to focus the command center there. That was a big overcommit. It's a lot of Hydras that are going to go down there. These Lings, though, coming in from this side. Solar's been really good with this multitasking. Problem is, he's out of lava. He's out of lava. He's out of lava. Oh, no. This is reminding me of that game I played versus Clem. I had like 10,000 resources in the bank, and I thought I was doing really well. And then I ran out of lava. So when you're playing really good Terrans, they kill all your stuff. You're down 8,000 in the trading. If he could spend his money, he wins. You just can't spend the money. No. No. Okay, Solar's not like dead or anything, but it's just like it's just he's missing opportunities to win. He's missing opportunities to win right now. A lot of Hydras run and then die. Finally, Lings find this left side base. Hydras are going to kill that tank as well. If you can clear these Widow Mines, it'd be excellent. He doesn't have an Overseer over here either. He's probably going to build a lot more Hydras now just because they're a bit more lava efficient. He's going to find siege tanks out on the right side as well. I mean, Maru's the one with 24 workers, so this sort of scrappy trading will favor Solar as long as he can remax. And right now, that is the big problem. These queens have full energy, guys. These 2 queens, he should have taken a second to Q injects on maybe these bottom left hatcheries or something. He doesn't have a macro hatchery to do that on. You can see he's queuing injects, creep shumers. He's trying to do all this, but all of his queens are on one control group. So he doesn't even have separate creep queens anymore, which is why his creep's been so pushed back by these constant tank pushes. Here we go, big Lingbane Hydra army. Should be able to overwhelm this, I think. Very, very deep is the Terran player, but the Baneling's not able to get to the ghosts. Okay, more Banelings coming through from behind, not able to connect. And that siege tank somehow still holding as well. Jesus, how did... Sorry. Oh my gosh, I know some religious people don't like me taking their Lord's name in vain, but... Jesus! That was an impressive fight for Maru. Drones do go down. Oh, no, he's not out yet. Okay. Oh my god, he's gonna find the drones. Oh my god, so many drones have gone down. Lings do find the siege tank on the rear, but oh, the Nidus gets focused. All the drones go down. There is a lurker on the right side. I mean, Maru's completely broke. He's got no money, but Solar has just lost that 10,000 bank advantage by trading 10,000 resources less efficiently. There's only really 2 bases mining right now. Solar's still got a big Lingbane Hydra army, but what he needs is infestors. Burrowed infestors are what wins you the game now. He's building 4 infestors. Solar's a genius. Solar's a genius. He knows that infestors are what will win him the fight. Sergeant Chadhammer on the high ground with 32 kills. 2 Zerglings over here killing a lot of SCVs. They're going to lure the Zerglings to the Widow Mines, and they will be able to go back to mining. Nice move there by Maru. Now Solar does not have the units to deal with this army. Like I said, he needs infestors. He needs Burrow. He doesn't have Burrow, but he does now have infestors. Where are they? Where are those infestors? They're waddling their way from the bottom left side. The top right is exposed. Solar is up 30 workers, down 20 army supply. The ghosts are coming forward. The Viper's going to get sniped. Solar stays there a bit too long on the edge of the Terran territory, but once again, the last vestiges of Maru's economy just go bye-bye. Ghosts coming forward. Hydra Lingbane. Watch out. Snipes on the Hydras, mate. Snipes on the Hydras. Okay, Solar's going to go forward now, but a good start to the fight here for Maru. The infestors stuck in with the Hydras. EMP's landing, only 1 good fungal lands, and oh my god, Maru might have just brought it back. The fungal lands too little too late. Solar needed to be the one initiating these fights and jumping on MARU. MARU was able to snipe a bunch of units, spread his units out a bit, and EMP the Infestors before any real lethal fungals landed. And that's a tragedy, because now 19,000 resources more efficient. Solar had such a good opportunity to win this game at multiple points. He played such a good early game through the mid game. But MARU, the king of late game, is so dogged and determined. And if he just pushes, I think he wins. But he's not sure where the economy is. I mean, this is the only economy for Sol. I guess there's a few mineral patches here as well. Actually, should put a few more drones on these patches, to be fair. But he can only afford one hatchery Solar, and unless Solar gets a miracle with some spellcasters or something, I think he's going to be in big doo-doo against this army. If you could ambush him with fungals, that would be great. A lot of Terran army is over here because he's got to defend this orbital and this orbital, his tiny little bit of economy. I mean, what tools do you have? It's all about the Viper. You can get a parasitic bomb and a fungal on the Medivacs. That's a huge amount of his value. And obviously the fungals on the Ghost so they can't snipe. Solar ran out of steam. Well, like I said, Solar, he was very defensive early on, and I thought it would be rough, but he actually got in control of the game and unfortunately didn't have enough urgency with doing something with it. And it's the double tank production for MARU was a desperation play. He doesn't like playing the double tank production because he knows it's so weak to Broodlords and it's so immobile. But he used these ledges so well. These rocks never got taken down. He used these high grounds. There was so many times where Solar was fighting and there was like an adjacent ledge to the lane that he was in with 2-3 tanks on it just shelling his army down. That being said, MARU's got to get a move on. He's got no economy. I think because he sees no economy for Zerg, he thinks Zerg economy is trash, but 47 workers, even if they are like long distance mining, are still going to be mining. They're still going to get some income. Oh, Ghost coming down. Good choice to evac. I love the evac choice. Loses a few drones and a hatchery. It's not the end of the world, and you could maybe counterattack this base as Solar. Solar's actually making a lot of Lurkers, interestingly. Lurkers are a really good unit against everything that's not the Ghosts. The Ghosts need a lot of energy to deal with them, admittedly. Oh no, Solar! Wait, he lands a fungal, but it feels like a really small Zerg army here. He runs down there with just a small section of his army. I guess that was all of his Hydraling Bane, though, because most of his army's in Lurkers right now. Is this one of these games where Solar... I think he might have to chuck a Dark to win this. He might need to, like, grab 6 Lurkers and just burrow them here and put them on hold fire, and then just hope MARU walks over it. And just keep giving up bases and running away. That might be the best play. And there's a Raven on the way. MARU very much realizes burrowed Infestors, surprise Lurkers. These are the things that could potentially get Solar back in the game. Because MARU, he knows his economy is trash, but his army is absolutely god tier. Solar's throwing? Yeah, kind of. But I think if you've played ZVT against someone as good as MARU, you'd understand that it's kind of impossible to not throw unless you're like really, really amazing. Don't get me wrong, totally valid to criticize Solar letting him off the hook here a little bit, but it's so hard to deal with this level of Terran late game. All the ledge abuse, the Widowmine spreadies, the tanks everywhere. It's just been... MARU is such a master of setting up these areas that are so hard to engage into. Like, you know, there's some old RTS campaign missions where you're just slowly clearing through a base that's riddled with towers and artillery emplacements and all sorts of things, and it's like a real slog just to clear a base, even though there's no real threat of you dying. It's like, how do I clear these fortifications? That's what playing against MARU is like, except there's actually a threat of him counterattacking and killing you as well. So it's, you know, like I always think of Warcraft 2 being the formative RTS campaign where it was like that, you know, where they just have like tons of walls with cannon towers and guard towers and all this stuff, and you'd go and you'd, like, you know, just spam like Blizzard outside their base and then try to aggro the AI's army into like your spam of Blizzard or Death and Decay or whatever, or set up layers of runes outside their base and try to lure them out because attacking into the towers was so friggin' awkward. Pete, do you think Solar should continue to throw Lurkinitis throughout the whole game non-stop? He could have kept doing it, I think, but it is hard to do high on the APM and stuff. I think when he had the money, yes. I do think he just needed a bit more urgency when he had the money. And even before then, once he blew up this base, I think he should have been quicker to remax and strike the left. And I always talk about this should be your basic default move, is blow up one side as the Zerg, pull back to the center while you're remaxing, and already be running over to the left to morph Banelings and attack on the left. you want to be hitting the Terran because Terran's Remax capability is slower, and they have to like siege and unsiege a lot of units, and they don't have as much map vision, so often you can attack, and then they're not quite in position, and it's Terran's nature is if you attack one side, they'll spend the next minute or so entrenching that side, reinforcing that side, so then you appear on the other side when they're not expecting it. Speak of the devil, look at that. Maru's whole army got pulled to the left there. He threatened there, runs in with lurkers and a pack of lings, gets a few tanks, makes the command center lift. That's the sort of move that's excellent. That being said, he's got to worry about this orbital. Solar does have this base here. He's going to take this base up in the top right. Burrow's on the way. I mean, he needs it. He needs it. There's no libs in this game, just tanks. Only 4 tanks, but 2 more are building. Maru needs to stay active or Solar may recover. Well, the thing is, his work account's good enough that economically Maru's fine. The problem is positionally. Can he defend this and his production at the same time? It's not even about taking this base, it's about keeping his production up. By the way, Chadhammer's still alive. She's been on this high ground for so long. 38 kills. She has killed so many units attacking that base. Like, she's seen like 6 command centers die on this base. She's been there taking pot shots at Zerglings every single time. Yeah, Lurker-nitis in of itself is not usually cost efficient against a player of Maru's quality, but it's a tempo move. You're wasting money to pull them out of position to allow the rest of your army to do damage, or if they're really occupied with the rest of your army, then it can do damage, but it costs you a lot of money. But if you've got, you know, banking and stuff, yeah, Lurker-nitis is pretty good to keep up. It's very stressful to deal with at the very least. So there you go, Lurker-nitis attempt, but good dealing with it by Maru. All right, a couple Widow Mines here. Oh, so hard to attack into that. You got like a choke point here and here. If you're going to attack here, you would need to bring your army down through this choke point and just YOLO through the open and go right to the production. And I do think that would be the best move for Solar if he was rich, but he's not rich. But if he's rich, he could try to attack here and then try to send like 100 Zerglings, like literally pure Zergling, just up in through here with a few Overseers for dealing with ghosts. They're good about putting empty Nidus up and then sending the Lurkers of the army instead. Yeah, you could, I mean, you saw him earlier in this game a little bit, but people will often spam Niduses with nothing in it. But you don't really want the Lurkers with the army. The Hydraling Bane is a hit-and-run army. But you can do Hydraling Bane on the right, Lurkers on the left, and the empty Nidus in the back. Or just a few Zerglings in the Nidus, so it can still do damage if they don't deal with it. The problem with, we do see people do empty Nidus, and often the Terran doesn't even notice it, and then gets away with it. Gets away with not noticing. A few more Lings will go forward. Chadhammer on the high ground covering. And that siege tank survives. SCV will repair it. Nice defense for Maru. Lingbane's not an efficient army long term. If Solo wins this game, he's actually a wizard, guys. Because like you can see, he's down 21,000 in the resources lost. They're mining similar amounts. I know he's mining a little bit more right now, but for how long? Lings will get in and take out this siege tank. The thing is, these trades just aren't ever efficient. Lingbane, Hydra, Viper, it's a tempo army. It's I have more money than you. I'm going to roll in, kill a base, remax, roll down here, kill a base. And with the siege tanks, they especially make it so hard to engage into because you've got these super long-range artillery units shooting you from a distance. Watch out for Fungal Maru. Maru chases to the low ground like a crazy guy, but it's worth it. Even though he takes a Fungal and some Banelings to the chin, the Lings are going to run in. Chadhammer! Chadhammer! She's on 50 kills. She goes down. And look at that. The Zerglings finding their rally. Excellent, excellent damage. This Ghost does cloak and survive for now. We'll eventually clean those Zerglings up. Solar gets a little bit of value there, but you can see he's fallen another 1,000 resources behind in the trading, right? It's just these numbers are going to keep getting worse over time. Such is the nature of playing Lingbane in the late game. Bottom left base is up. Can't be letting that go up. Oh no! Infestor walks through the fog, dies to the Marine Marauder. Does land a Fungal. Hopefully he can at least kill the Medevac, and the answer is yes, he can. Gets a few Marauders surrounded as well, but there's so much more bio behind this. There's no tanks over here, luckily. Nidus has popped up in the bottom. Lurkers could siege both of these bases. There is a tank nearby, though. Solar's going to burrow a single Lurker to kill that siege tank. These 3 Lurkers will go down here. Units lost tab is 22,000 in favor of Maru. Got a scan off there in time to kill that Lurker. Well done. Lingbane, Hydra Viper coming through that side. Fungal does miss. There's still a full energy Infestor there. Wants to send more Zerglings in, but Sergeant Chadhammer 2.0 has sieged up in the position. Ooh, these Lurkers are going to go down. Nice snipe. So one of them does escape. Good on Burrow. Hey, this time Solar finds Chadhammer early, but not early enough to kill her. Oh, he does. He does manage to kill her. Well played, mate. Very well played. More Lings going in to find that tank rally. Gonna try and attack the south as well. Solar's making a really good effort of it. I just feel like these bases are going to mine out pretty soon. 2 of his top right bases are half minerals, which means the income will get closer over time. Right now, Solar's been mining more for a few minutes. He's on 55 workers. He gets a few ghosts here. Solar making this awfully competitive in a situation where I think many of us thought he should be dead. Vipers are there. Watch out with the Vipers. No, the Vipers fly to their death. Even throwing a few power bombs would have been nice. The Infestors go down as well. Oh, that is awkward. Maintaining a 22,000 resource lost cap is not too bad, but the base is coming down here is really, really scary. These SCVs are alive on that base. Zerglings find yet another siege tank on the rally. You got to remember to send Overseers up here as well, because the Widow Mines plus Cloak Ghost can be a problem. Single Lurker comes in, manages to take out 8 or 9 workers. Not bad. Oh, not bad. Oh, gets a few Marines as well. More Zerglings on the rally. Remember, the rally, while you're trying to defend the bottom left, that's the problem for MARU. We pointed out, economically, he got back to a fine position, but defending the bottom left and your natural production at the same time is so hard, and that maybe is where Solar should put all of his efforts towards. That's a dead command center, isn't it? A few more Lings rallying in, but he's going to need a much beefier army on the top side. I think just leave a few Zerglings down here, and then go back to defend, because the top side, this is his most important base. It's vulnerable. It's a giant army. He doesn't have an answer for this. 12 Hydras, 60 Zerglings, and only 6 Banelings. He's got 2 Infestors. But even with Fungals, there's so many Marauders. I don't know if he can deal with this army. Lings do find a little bit of damage. This hatchery may have to be given up. Fungal, on its own, only does 25 damage. It's not the most impressive. The drones are going to have to evacuate. I think that's a wise choice. There we go. Raven does throw an anti-armor missile. It's going to add +2 damage to the units. Bio tank moving forward with the Ghost Zergling's going to scramble the middle base as well. He's left the entire bottom left undefended. Has MARU. Solar's going to have to give this base up as well, though. He's looking for an ambush, but he cops an EMP. No Fungal, which means you cannot defend this situation. You cannot fight into a choke point. If you had this army surrounded, maybe, but he doesn't have it surrounded. But you know what? Orbital's burning in the bottom left. You know what, MARU? He can hear this song. He can see Peter Garrett's fantastic dancing. How can you sleep while the orbital's burning, man? Well, MARU, how many orbitals does he even have? 4. That'll bring him down to 3. He's going to float a new one down there. This orbital will crash and burn. MARU still has a bigger army, but... Oh! Infestor goes forward, burrows to avoid dying. Hydraling Bane Infestor YOLOing their way through here, but not quite enough to jump on top. I think he's still got a good trade, though. I mean, look at the army supply. Very similar for both sides. Problem is the income is non-existent for Zerg. It's 500 minerals of long-distance mining. I think it's this mineral patch really beefing that up as well. He needs to put guys on here. Dude, he has 1,100 minerals in his natural that he never finished mining. And these guys aren't clicked on the mineral patch either. He's misclicked them. He's misclicked them. MARU, Solar, I mean. Oh no, that's so unfortunate. Guys, if he puts even like 5 workers there, that's a huge amount of minerals. In this situation, 1,100 minerals is everything. These 2 mules trying to mine on this side as well. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. MARU's on 69 supply, but he still has a scary army that could smash everything. Solar's going to try and defend. He needs to use Fungals, though. He's got to wait for a bit more energy. He's got a random Lurker coming in, scanning ahead. There's one Ghost. That Ghost gets rid of the energy on these 2 Infestors. That's so good. Look at this. MARU's like, screw it, I have to push. MARU's like, I can't defend my economy. My position at home is untenable. Solar needs to give up ground and actually base trade. You need to actually base trade this. And just, you've got drones, you can rebuild, you're going to lose tech structures, which sucks, but I actually think the correct call is to send all his Lings across the map, start killing all the buildings, and rebuild a base like up here, and try to do a fighting retreat across the map, because space is your friend as a Zerg player right now. Oh, good transfuses on the Lurkers, but not enough. 5 Marauders stim, focus fire, and the Ghost snipes it, and there's no way to transfuse through that. The Lurker does get taken down. Lings are doing damage on this side. MARU doesn't really have any economy. He's going to try to drop a few more mules here or whatever. He's got 1 SCV in the bottom left corner of the map. He can always float buildings. It's not about those. It's about catching him in the middle of the map with Fungals and ambushes. And that's what Solar's trying to do. That's a big wall of Marauders. Marines are protected in the back. The single siege tank is a Chad. Where's the Widowmine? Widowmine's already up here, up north. Oh, a Lurker goes down. He does land a decent fungal. Dude, Baneling's rolling into the Marines and goes pretty decently. The Infestor takes a lot of damage, though. The Infestor does get sniped. Oh, no, it does just get shot down by the Marauders. Queen's coming forward along with the Hydras and the Lings and the Lurkers. And oh my god, has he actually done it? I can't believe Sol has done this, guys. Maru has no income. There's still 5 Hydras, 9 Zerglings, 1 Lurker. I think that beats this army, right? Especially with the 4 Queens, as long as these 4 Queens are transfusing. But there's mules. There's mules dropping. Income. So the mules are mining over there, even though it's awkwardly. These drones are long-distance mining up here. He's still not mining these 2 mineral patches. Obviously, he's too stressed to think about it. He's got a bunch of minerals sitting there. That's friggin' 40 minerals, man. Return those, bro. Return those, bro. Obviously, a lot going on in this game right now. The bio will see the Zerglings. Zerglings will see the bio. Production is still very vulnerable of Maru. He's trying to just build a few Marauders and Marines right now. Oh, man. Solo giving up ground down here and moving north and realizing, look, I don't need to defend the production. I just need to, like, create space. And because if you move into the open and I can catch you with fungals, that's good. But once you get pushed into a choke point, if he fought front on, Solar would have been in so much trouble. And the Queen's very clutch, as chat points out. Very tanky, spamming transfusers, adding little tickle bits of damage. They do have +3 range as well, which is, of course, really important. Ling's going for the counter. And remember, guys, 3/3 Adrenal Zerglings are one of the best units in the game in small skirmishes. But a few Marines and Marauders pop out, and they do go down. It's just building Zerglings right now and a single hatchery in the north. Maru, of course, has 3 orbitals. If he drops mules, that's good. Guess what? There's Lurkers. You can't both scan Lurkers and drop mules at the same time very easily, so Maru finds himself in an awkward situation. Luckily, he does have Sean Bean here, 006, 18 kill Ghost, 6 kill Marine, 20 kill Marauder, 7 kill Marauder, 12 kill Marauder. I still can't believe that's a 20 kill Marauder. That's kind of crazy, man. 12 kill Marine as well? Like, what the hell? 18 kill Ghost. Very impressive. Are bunkers so bad against Zerglings? Bunkers don't shoot without units inside them. You can't be building bunkers at this stage of the game. Yeah, bunkers are not the worst thing in the world. If you were playing very turtly in the mid game, you could spread a few bunkers across your base, like the early late game, once you've got their mass command center up or whatever. But at this stage, they're not mobile, so they're not going to cover anything. Be cool if we had a heal count for the medevac. Oh, dude, they would have healed so much life. That's one of the things. StarCraft doesn't have as many stats as it really should. Dude, what an epic game. Remember at 15 minutes, I thought Solar had this in the bag. We're at 42 minutes now. Maru is just impossible to put down, isn't he? Like, I feel like every Zerg player has been trying to take Maru out to live on a farm, in quotation marks, for so many years, and just so good at hanging in there. Unless he's playing Serral. Serral is like the guy you have to call to take Maru to the farm, so to speak. But every other, like Raynor struggles so much in the late game against him as well. You always feel Maru's urgency to finish in the mid game when he's playing Maru. Even when he's like, he gets like a big lead early and he's like, I gotta kill him. Solar kind of lets Maru get to late game and then starts trying to maul. But yeah, it's kind of like Solar hits his strong point just when Maru's getting dangerously close to that crazy late game that he's so good at. This is almost pure Marine Marauder on creep. There's only 6 Banelings, 3 more making. Lurkers plus Transfusers are so useful, man. Oh no, the Ling Hydra derping down here. Oh, Solar, careful, mate. He's rallying Lings in as well. He does send Lings onto the enemy's production, which is nice, though. Got a bit more Ling Bane building. There's no Infestors in this game. No gas mining. That's why he's got a bit of gas mining coming in now. Imagine if he had a burrowed Infestor somewhere tracking this army. Or not even burrowed, just running around on the flank. Ready to throw a fungal. And Solar is so patient. Look at this, guys. He's like, I have a fully mining base. This guy has no economy. Why would I care? And these Marines are going to get slaughtered, mate. Going to try and pull back to the Widowmine. Widowmine does not have its shot recharged just yet. It says, honey, just give me a minute. Trust me. I'll be good to go for round 2 soon. She does fire off. Zerglings win that trade. No Overseer to kill the Widowmine, unfortunately, but denying Maru's mining entirely. Maru's going to get rid of the... What did he just kill? I know he got the Hydra Den there. What was the first structure? I'm not quite sure. Looks like he's got most of the structures here, though, so they should be going down. Spawning pool is what will be rebuilt in the top. Didn't get a chance to rebuild a Hydra Den, doesn't have the gas for it. I think it would be a good idea to rebuild the Hydra Den as well, just so he can build something that shoots up. Lings catch even more Marines. Oh, he's just going to GG. I mean, he's dead. He is dead, guys. He is absolutely dead. There is nothing MARU can do to push through that army. He's got a pack of Marines, a few Marauders. He can't beat this Lingbane army, especially not with the Queens and the Lurkers. His production's about to get ransacked. He's got no income, nothing in production. The Ling run-bys is what kept Solar in this game. He kept going around the left, denying this base, even when MARU had tank here, tank here, tank here, tank here, tank here, tank here. Remember, he had this tank push controlling this entire area. Widow Mines spread across the whole thing. Bio making it impossibly hard for him to move around. Did Solar trade kind of badly at some points? Yes. What did he miss windows where he technically could have won? Yes. Guess what? Turns out that's StarCraft, baby. When you're playing against MARU, especially, I feel like a lot of these maps, there's not a lot of room between you and the Terran, which means they're always in your face. The multi-drops in the early, in the kind of the mid-game were like really hard for Solar to deal with. And even though he traded a lot worse, I love his decisions to not fight front on. So many Zergs are in a position where if they just give up another base, run around, re-expand, and avoid those fights, they can actually get in really good positions and win the game. And Solar made that decision multiple times where a lesser player would have headbutted into this endless tank line. A lesser player would have fought against that single tank final push here, one directionally, down a ramp and a choke point. But Solar multiple times gave up ground, backed off, gave up ground, backed off, and kind of waited for MARU to overextend before he engaged him. Hats off to Solar. When you let a Terran up in between your rallies, like MARU often was, when he's pushing these sort of scary armies, it's just so friggin' hard to deal with calmly. But Solar stayed calm, and he did this so very well. GG, well played. That's only game one. I thought this was the end of the series. It's only game one. All right, let's go game two. All right, guys. Solar in the bottom left side of the map. MARU in the top right. It is going to be game two after an epic game one. Now, there's a few things you could do here. As Solar, if you think MARU on another rather large map like White Rabbit is going to do the same sort of greedy build, you could Bane bust the heck out of him. Because that build in that last game, I do not think there is any way to survive against a committed all-in from the Zerg. I'm talking, do a normal opening, take a third hatchery. But if you sniff it out, be ready to drop that Bailey nest, leave workers on gas the whole time, that sort of thing, and go for the boom boom. Of course, that is reading a bit much into it. MARU very well could go 2-factory Blue Flame. Mech's quite decent on this map. We've seen some Battle Mech actually have quite some success recently. I don't know if MARU ever does it against Solar. We don't see him play Mech very often. I think Solar's quite weak to Mech if you can surprise him with it. And I think if he sniffs it out, he is the best destroyer of Mech in the world. But it's like, that's why, I feel like Gumiho struggles so hard with Solar because Solar expects the Mech. And he's like, oh, I know what's coming. You're going to try and Mech. And he shuts it down, right? He scouts extra for it, sees it. MARU doesn't play Mech against him. I wonder if there is space for him to mix in Mech on a big map like White Rabbit. Of course, later on in this map, the middle area can be very hard for Zerg to engage just because there's all these little tank corners. That's why we do see a lot of Zerg open with defensive Roach Ravager here. Hey Pig, are there any other games you've got your eye on if StarCraft 2 doesn't work out anymore? People have been asking me that for 12, 13 years. I enjoy a lot of video games out there. I do not do gaming and to try and make big bank. I'm not here going, ooh, I'm going to make so much money doing this. Don't get me wrong, I do need to make some money to survive and whatnot. But I enjoy a lot of other games. I have been meaning to get into other games, but it's purely based off things I enjoy. I keep saying I'm going to do it, and I keep putting it off because I just get busy. But I want to grind Age of Empires 2 and do a bit of casting and stuff for that. I don't think that's ever going to make me a lot of money. That's a scene that's very well established and stuff. I just like that game. So I know there's a lot of people that are all about the views and this and that. And don't get me wrong, that does influence what content you do and what you make and stuff. But StarCraft 2 ain't going anywhere. I don't think it's people are like, oh, there's no EWC or something. But I think 6-7 years ago, I realized that casting was a terrible way to rely on making money in any esports scene. So I don't, yeah. Guys, this is the 3cc build where he pulled off gas again. Solar did not leave on gas, though. Dude, if he did that Bane bust I was talking about, free win. Literal free win, 2-0. MARU out of here. I don't know if this is the first match in the group or the second or whatever, but potentially could be an easy road to first place in the group, since these two are clear favorites, I believe, in Group D. I can't even remember who else was in this group, guys. This is the only series I'm casting from this group. I know I cast all of Group A, because that was kind of the most competitive, the Group of Death. The one with Rogue and Hero, Beyond, and Trigger. Trigger obviously being the weakest player there, but still a very good player. Whereas this group had Maru, Solar, God Gamers, and the other two I think were just clearly kind of underdogs against them. Pig, are Ravages better than Roaches if they don't hit any corrosives? Yeah, I mean, even if you don't hit corrosives, you force your opponent to move. They have 6 range, a Roach only has 4 range. They have movement speed similar to a Roach speed Roach, so they're way better than slow Roaches at moving. They shoot faster as well, so they do quite a lot more DPS. But they cost an immense amount of gas. So if you're just trading them out, they become cost inefficient. And they aren't not the most supply efficient either, 3 supply per Ravager. Oh, he's doing the Bane boss, guys! It's just very late. It's very late. Maru has no idea, though. 38 drone Bane Bust? Oh my lord, this is a bit crazy. Can this work? I mean, there's so few units out. Has Stim not even started? Guys, are we going to see Massling Bane fighting like 1-1 non-Stim Marines? He's got Marines on the high ground. Does he sniff something? Oh, Solar just shows Mass Zergling. Why? It's just so obvious. Well, now he's going to be super paranoid. Why did Solar show so many? If he showed 6 or 8 Zerglings just having a poke around, that's one thing. That's like 12 Zerglings. I know he hasn't shown the rest of it, but that alone is a huge sign of what's going on. Solar not being very devious at all. I would argue pig-headed might be the way to describe the way he's executing this attack. It's a 2-gas Bane Bust. You want this to be a surprise, but there's no bunker going down. Maru not respecting it. Maru just might be gone in this series. Oh god, he doesn't have 1-1 yet. Okay, he's going to spread his Marines out. He will raise the depot. Engineering bay. If he places some E-bays, that could really help. He's going to try and pull these Marines back to get some SCVs in front. He's got to focus the Banes. He's got to focus the Banes. Maru! Maru! Oh my god, he was a little bit slow to focus the Banes. Remember, he's on 3cc. He's ahead in workers right now. He can lose a lot of workers, but if his Marines go down, he will get wiped out here. And Solar is going to win the series. Thank you very much for supporting the Patreon, guys. Really appreciate all your support. Big thanks to Ninjas Monkey, Peden, and Dragosar, Ivy, OkoH. A special thanks to Ninjas Monkey for being on the Leviathan tier. If you guys want to support, info's over here. We'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye and good night.